views and opinions on this program are not necessarily those of WSTU Digital 1450. The opinions expressed are those of the program hosts and guests. WSTU does not endorse products that may be mentioned. Any reproduction or retransmission of this broadcast is strictly prohibited without written consent of WSTU. It's time now for the Martin County Difference with your host, dancing realtor Julia Sansevier.
Good evening and welcome to the Martin County Difference. We're coming to you live from beautiful downtown Stuart, Florida, and it's Wednesday, February 28th, 2018. Hi, Frank.
Hey, hi. Welcome back.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Julia Sansevier, your host, and I've been in absentia for just a week.
Yeah.
We were here 2 weeks ago. It was my birthday. I'm a realtor with the Coldwell Banker on the Treasure Coast, and I ran home to Texas to see my family for my birthday last week, the 21st. And the last time we were here was Valentine's Day. That was a very sad day, and we've had a long, sad 2 weeks because of that. For Florida and our whole country, it's been so sad. I had a good time seeing my mom, but we were all, our hearts were in Florida. We have all experienced this tragedy. Close to me in my Coldwell Banker family is a mom of one of the children killed. Meadow Pollock's mother, Shara Kaplan, is an agent in Boca, in our Boca Resort office, and I sent her a card. My heart goes out to Shara and to Andrew Pollock, who is very well-spoken and out there as an advocate, a very vocal advocate, thank God, to make sure we have school safety. So, as we all know, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, a very wonderful woman who represented Florida well in her time. They named the high school after her, and, just 17 lives and families destroyed.
Right.
And our country has been set back, I think, a great bit. But I want to say that there are survivors, and out of this, I hope positive will come, because that's what this show is about, is looking for the good and to make sure we can have a ripple effect. And I think it starts with one person and then another person. And, we don't know why it happened. There are lots of pundits out there who are trying to dissect it. Is it mental health? Is it gun control? But it's a mystery, because we really haven't heard from this perpetrator as to what in the hell was in his head and why. But it has touched us all, and it's unbelievable. It's an emotional issue, that's for sure. Yes. But we have to come at it pragmatically so that we can solve this. Right. And there are several issues that do need attention. First of all, I think personally what's not been mentioned really is the culture that we are in. A few people are touching on it now, but I just think there's too much available too soon for our kids. We're in this fast-paced social media world, and there is no screening, no standards like there used to be when I was growing up for, movies and music. And freedom of expression and freedom of speech, it's great, but you really have to be careful you temper that with good quality. And I think it's a cultural warfare on these young minds. And God only knows what else goes into it. But, a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
There are mental issues. There's availability of the assault weapons. I'm very glad to hear that Dick's Sporting Goods has come out with their own edict this afternoon that they're not going to sell any kind of these weapons to anyone under the age of 21 or any guns, and that this will be something they take off their shelves. So the minimum age to purchase, this maybe needs to go nationwide. The background checks need to be really stiffer. Ultimately, we just need to safeguard our children, our students, our schools, our churches, our soft targets, as we call them, because we had 9/11. Right. And we firmed up we had Timothy McVeigh, bombing in Oklahoma City. That's right. And that was a nursery school, but it was a federal building. So federal buildings get the good treatment, airports. Now we have open concert venues. We just have to be vigilant.
The governor announced today
$500
million.
Yes, I'm very happy to hear that, of strengthening
school safety,
hardening. Yes. And this is what Andrew Pollock, who's the father of Meadow Pollock, has said. We can fix this. Yes. And we can fix this, and we must fix this. If it's more armed guards, maybe. But I think we need braver
guards. There are so many voices that need to be heard. There are so many great ideas that have been floating around out there. People are rotating out of military service
Yes.
or already have training,
Yes.
they would be, ideal.
Good candidates.
Good candidates
Absolutely.
for that.
And
Give them a sense of purpose,
yeah,
too.
right.
Yeah.
Metal detectors. I hate to see
Yeah.
that, that the kids have to know this, but it's the real world, and there is more good, I think, in the world than evil.
Right.
But there is going to be evil, but we need to fix this now.
Right.
And it should never happen again. We need to prevent this. We are one country, it seems like, where this is a cancer in our society. Is it anger? Is it too much argue TV? That's what I think. We just have that 24-hour news cycle and people arguing. And this is a human issue. This should never be politicized.
Right.
These children died in vain if they do that. And 3 adults. I think there were at least 3 adults.
Wow.
The
I
assistant.
knew the one coach.
Well, I brought their names. I didn't want to let them be
Good.
forgotten.
Good.
And but the biggest thing is connecting with each other.
Right.
I'm just going to touch on this. I spoke to a friend today. Her child got in trouble at school and with some other children, and she called the principal and said, "What can I do to straighten this out? How can I help? How can
Right.
I get involved?"
Right.
That's what we need to do. Is we need to be involved in our children's lives and bond together as humans. We share the same air on this planet, and there's only so much food and water to go around, so we need to share our space. But, just getting back to tending to each other in kind and loving ways.
Right.
Again, my hashtag, try kindness. I'm just like, hey, putting it out there.
Right.
But connecting, putting down the cell phones at dinner. I'm guilty. Talking with each other, not at each other. Allowing for freedom of speech, of course, for all, but reserving the right to have a different opinion and allow that and not go crazy over it. And, teaching respect. Respect has been lost for others, and respect for life. The golden rule. Doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. And yes, I say going beyond our human selves and having a relationship with God. In whatever faith you are, just let yourself yield to a higher power, because we're not in charge. And I don't know how else to explain miracles. And if you're an atheist and you don't believe in any God, I will pray for you, because I think that prayer is needed right now. And one miracle is that the shooter was picked up right away and he didn't kill any more people than he did. And so maybe we can get a clue from his sick mind of what goes on, because everybody else has ever done this kind of thing has killed themselves.
Right.
Rightfully and thankfully. But I wanted to read off the names of the people
The
who
lost,
were
yeah.
the lost. And that's Alyssa Aladef. She's 14. She's a soccer player for Parkland Travel Soccer. Scott Beagle, he was one of the teachers. He's 35 years old. He's the geography teacher. Martin Duque Anguiano, 14 years old. Nicholas Dworet, 17 years old. Aaron Feiss, one of the big heroes, 37 years old. He's the assistant football coach. He shielded several students and took bullets in his own body and died. And then we have Jamie, it's a girl, 14. And Chris Hickson, 49, the school's athletic director. He was a naval reservist. And Chris Hickson himself was deployed to Iraq in 2007. So here's someone who fought for our country and then lost it in a school. Quote about him is, he loved being an American and serving his country, and he instilled that in our kids. And he was the school's wrestling coach, and that was his passion. Then we have another student, Luke Hoyer, 15 years old. Cara Loughran, 14 years old. Cara danced at the Drake School of Irish Dance in South Florida. Gina Montalto, I think some people have heard that name because I think her parents were at in the White House talking. She was 14 and she was a member of the Winter Guard on the school's marching band. Joaquin Oliver, 17 years old. Originally, they called him Guac. He was from Nicaragua and he came here as a 3-year-old and got his citizenship here. Elena Petty, 14. Elena's family said she was vibrant and determined. She had volunteered after Hurricane Irma hit Florida in September. They said that Elena loved to serve. And then a name that has become familiar to me, all too familiar, Meadow Pollock, 18 years old. Her mom is a Coldwell Banker agent in Boca. And her dad, Andrew, is this new, powerful voice, a wonderful vocal advocate for school safety and for all these kids. Meadow had been accepted at Lynn University in Boca Raton, and she shielded a freshman with her own body. But the shooter came back and shot both of them. And she was shot 9 times. Helena Ramsey, 17 years old. Alex Schachter, 14 years old, and he participated in the school marching band and orchestra, playing baritone in the former and trombone in the latter. And young face. These are children. Yeah. Carmen Schentrup, 16. Carmen was a National Merit Scholar semifinalist. And this high school, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, had 10 students qualify as semifinalists for 2018, which is the second year in a row 10 students have qualified. That's what their Eagle Eye student blog said. And that's quite an accomplishment. And last but not least, Peter Wang, 15 years old. Peter had been a member of his junior ROTC program, and his parents owned a restaurant in West Palm Beach. And he was shot while holding a door open to let fellow classmates get to safety. Thousands of people signed a White House petition asking for him to be buried with military honors, and they granted that wish.
Yeah.
So on that note, hug your kids, be kind to strangers and, to your fellow man, just like we're all here together. We're human. One good thing that has come out of it for our local area, Martin County, there is a town hall meeting Thursday, March 1st, 6:30 p.m. tomorrow night, and that will be at the Martin County High School in the main auditorium at 2801 South Counter Highway in Stewart, and our sheriff will be there, Sheriff William Snyder, Marcia Powers, who's a school board member, Reverend Matt Pilot, he's from Christ Fellowship, he's the campus pastor, Bob Zaccheo, he is a licensed psychotherapist. He's project founder and CEO of Project Lift, which I was wanting to get them in here to talk to them, so hopefully we will. Dr. Jennifer Doak, she's a pediatric nurse practitioner and a college professor, and Dr. Gary Durham, he's with New Hope Fellowship, he's the lead pastor, and Jeffrey Shearer, he's with Tykes and Teens, and Jeffrey has been here before. Yeah. Yes. So it's going to be moderated by Lori Shikalo, St. Marin de Porres Catholic Church. She's the Director of Finance and Operations, and she's a former Martin County School Board. And I want to give a shout out to Rebecca Negron. She is putting this together. She's a Martin County School Board member. Thank you, Rebecca, for all you're doing for our community. Everyone is invited. This is for the public, the whole community of Martin County. It's going to be an opportunity to make recommendations on how we can keep our students safe at school here in Martin County. And we like to say we're the Martin County difference, but you know what? We're no different than anybody else. Parkland was, listen to the name, Parkland. It was a beautiful place to live and safe. And, where is anything safe anymore? So we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to speak out. So go to that public meeting that's tomorrow night and make your voices heard and bring your ideas, because this is going to be a real community effort to get this done. And so I want to do a complete 180 and do want to bring you some good news about my trip home. I want to thank everybody for my Facebook postings of saying happy birthday. That was nice. But I was invited to go home my birthday week for a particular event. My sister and her husband are members. He's a member of the SAR, that's the Sons of American Revolution. She's in the Daughters of the American Revolution. And they had a wonderful big George Washington dinner, the 75th George Washington dinner. And they usually give one deserving person in the community a very nice certificate of merit. It's the highest thing they can do, this award. It's the George Washington Distinguished Service Award. So it was presented to a man who I was so honored to meet. His name is Jim McInvale. He is also known in Houston as Mattress Mac. And his big motto is saves you money. He's on TV. He's been on for like 30 years. And during the oil bust in Houston, this was his thing. He came up with this saying because, everything was falling apart, and at least you could get furniture and save money, right? So he did a Facebook Live broadcast during Hurricane Harvey. His son in Dallas talked him through it. It was his first one ever. And in an hour and a half, it had been viewed by 4.5 million people. And what he did on that Facebook Live broadcast was open his 3 furniture stores that had started at one tiny store and over 30 years had grown.
I heard about this.
Yes.
And he opened up his doors to everybody that needed a place to
as
be.
a shelter
Yes.
from the storm. And people came in, they swam in, literally.
Yeah.
And he saved hundreds of lives, hundreds, for 5 nights, 250 people at a clip, so over 1,000 people. And, the CNN people, the CBS, the TV media people, they came and they said, they interviewed him, how could you let these people sleep on your fine furniture and lay around on these mattresses? And he looked at them and he said, how could I not?
Good answer.
Right?
Yeah. That's
What
the
a
right
good
thing.
man.
Yeah.
And it's the way he was raised, and he was taught by his parents to treat people well and the way you would want to be treated.
Sure.
Hence the golden rule. So it was my honor to meet him. My husband and I got our picture taken with him, and he gave a very riveting, inspirational acceptance speech. And he talked about the flood. His firsthand account was just spellbinding. And I just want to thank my sister Catherine and her husband Sam for including me there. And a big hello, Mom. My mom is 91, and she's not doing too well right now. So I'm really sad about that. I'll get home soon again. But it's been a rough 2 weeks, but we have other good things happening in our communities. And so one thing I want to say is I always appreciate the people who support this show. And one would be TC Palm Home Inspections. He's a wonderful home inspector and a wonderful sponsor. So thanks, Gary and Terry Mulca. And my husband's going to bring Thelma Washington in here from Gertrude Walden Center. And after her, we're going to have the Marathon of the Treasure Coast. But it's Black History Month, and I called Thelma, and I said, let's get you in there and talk about it. It's the last day of the month, so we can squeeze it in. Yeah, so hi, Thelma, come on in. So if you need a home inspection, call Gary Mulca at TC Palm Home Inspections. His number is 772-678-8133, and check out their website at tcpalmhomeinspections.com. And you can get a home inspection. He'll look at your roof, and that's a good thing to do after a hard winter. You can get cracked shingles. You need to repair those. It's for buyers and sellers. So I want to welcome Thelma Washington. You're the executive director over at the Gertrude Walden Center, Child Care Center.
Yes.
And how are you doing tonight? I hear you had a busy weekend.
Oh, yes. Very, very busy. On
Friday.
Friday.
In that brush, huh?
Yes. On Friday, we had our annual spaghetti dinner fundraiser for Gertrude Walden Child Care Center. And then on Saturday, as president of the East Stewart Partnership, we did our Love Thy Neighborhood, where we painted 14 houses in East Stewart, owner-occupied, thanks to a grant from the CRA City of Stewart Paint Up program with over 400 volunteers. So by 1 o'clock, every house was finished, lunch was done, and so was our day.
How cool is that?
It was very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Some beautiful homes. Check out the before and after photos on East Stewart Partnership Facebook page to see the great work that was done by so many great volunteers.
And make sure you like the page.
Yeah.
Go to the Gertrude Walden page and like it and share it with your friends. They are doing great things. And what age are the children there?
The children at Gertrude Walden are 14 months to 5.
Oh.
They leave us and go to kindergarten. And this is my 22nd year as executive director.
Wow.
And we are a NACE accredited Gold Seal Center. We're also a United Way agency and do a great job of educating those little ones, getting them ready for a great kindergarten experience.
That's so cute. And I saw some of the pictures you had, and there was one sweet little girl. She had cupcake frosting all over her face.
Oh, yes.
And you caught her at the just right moment looking up.
Yes,
So they
it's
have a good
never a dull moment. Never, ever a dull moment. It's a great place to come when you're having a bad day because everyone can find something they like about you.
Yeah.
And once one person likes something, everybody can find something.
Yes,
There
yes.
you go.
And one thing is that I got to meet you before because I'm a member of the Junior League of Martin County, and the Junior League has been a longtime partner with with Gertrude Walden Center.
Yes.
And we've done many projects there, and we had a really good one where I learned a lot. We had one for about financing, right? Managing your finances. And we were working with the parents of the children.
Yes.
And having moderators who knew what they were talking about, CPA, that kind of kind. And then the reading with your children.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's another thing to do. That's what you do, is you help parents and children stay connected, find ways to, do whatever they do to nurture, and then it's so sweet because you have a little lunchroom.
Yes.
Right.
We have cafeteria.
And they learn to cook, don't they?
No, well, we do some kids in the kitchen project where they actually do some things. It's amazing what you can do with a cracker and banana and whipped cream and raisins, ants on a log, which is celery, and cream cheese and raisins, and it looks just like ants. And when we do creepy crawlers, we have the worms and the dirt. That's actually edible dirt.
Oh my gosh.
And we do have a garden outside of our VPK room, our VPK classroom, and the agriculture department at South Fork High School came out and helped with that. So we have a lot of partnerships with so many in our community that makes us great.
That is wonderful. And making a difference.
Yes.
And do you track the children? Do you follow them to see how they're doing after they leave?
As a part of the VPK program, they are tracked because they are tested at the beginning of kindergarten, and those scores are shared throughout the state. And you can't be on the low performing list 3 years in a row, or else you cannot serve VPK. You can't have a VPK program. So we work real hard to make sure every child enter kindergarten ready. And thanks to United Way, for the last 3 summers, we've been given the summer slide grant where they don't slide back during the summer. So often kids stay home during the summer and play, and they lose that. So thanks to United Way, we hired 2 kindergarten teachers from Parker that actually come over and work in our VPK classrooms. So it's great because then, while most of our kids attend J.D. Parker, they are no stranger to the teachers.
Right.
So they feel right at home, and it brings about a great comfort level. And again, the kindergarten teachers do a great job with them, and they are really, really prepared. Yeah. And it was great that 2 summers ago, 2 kindergarten teachers from Seawind came up to meet the VPK teachers because they received a couple of kids from our school that were so ready, and they just wanted to come and meet Miss Doris and meet Miss Gerald and thank them for the great job they were doing. And they brought them cookies. So we thought, wow, how awesome.
Yeah.
That's
how awesome is that?
Wow. Yes. And I know that children love their teachers, and the teachers love them.
Oh, yes. There's a lot of love in our
bonding.
building.
Yeah,
yes,
a lot of bonding.
A lot.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you are the guardians for them during the day when they're not at home, and that's we should value our teachers more. We should pay them more.
Oh yes, that's another whole.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
And they had a strike in one of the states, Indiana or something. They got 5% more.
Oh, did they?
West Virginia or somewhere.
Oh, yeah, West Virginia. My daughter was telling me about West Virginia teachers were striking. Yeah.
So, and they should, there's no reason not to. Well, you were telling me that you did this wonderful presentation at the Elliott Museum.
Well, yes. As most people know, I'm allergic to no. And I don't take Benadryl, and I don't have an EpiPen. So I have a tendency not to tell others no as well, because I have a hard time handling that. So when Debbie Banta asked me to come out and be a speaker for Black History, I'm like, okay. And, so often we hear about Martin Luther King and Frederick Douglass.
Of course, yeah.
And even I graduated from a HBCU, which is a historical Black college. I graduated from Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona Beach.
Okay.
And most people know the story of Mary McLeod Bethune. But we have so much great history right here in Martin County.
We do.
Yes, we do.
So what I did for my Black History presentation was the ABCs of Black History right here in Martin County.
Marvelous.
Nice.
So I'll start by saying, as one of my friends told me, my information is only as good as my source. So I don't need anyone calling in saying, I was fact checking you and that information was not correct. But so I'll start with.
I want to say hi, Lisa Pinkley. Thanks for joining. We've got a few people on. And so we are squeezing it out. Thelma Washington is here from Gertrude Walden Center, and it's the last day of Black History Month. And I thought, I got to call on my friend Thelma to come here and speak out for that.
All right, so it starts with my information. Like I said, it's only as good as my source. But blacks have been in Martin County since the 1800s, when some were brought as slaves by whites who immigrated from the lower southern states to cultivate the rich soil of South Florida. So in learning we often teach children our ABCs. So as an educator, I thought I'd entertain you with the ABCs of Black history. So A is for Anderson Middle School, which is named for Dr. David Anderson, who's our longest-serving school board member and the first black elected to the Martin County School Board. B is for Bill Bryant, our first black orthodontist, who was also the first black president of the Chamber of Commerce of Martin County.
Wow.
B is also for Johnny Bell, who's been a business owner in East Stewart for over 50 years.
Oh, my gosh.
C is for Marion Carpenter, who was the principal at Port Salerno Elementary and the first teacher to integrate elementary schools in Martin County.
And I'm going to have her on the show later on in May for the Martin County History Month.
Okay.
Yeah.
D is for
Nice.
Guy Davis Park, which is located in East Stewart, which is named for Guy Davis. E is for Eugene Bryant Jr., who was the first black admitted to the Air Force Academy. E is also for Eula Clark, who's a local city commissioner and a fighter for East Stewart.
Yes.
F is for Felix Williams, who was Teacher of the Year back in 1957 for the state of Florida.
And they named the school after
And he's the
him.
second black to have a school named in his honor,
Wow.
Felix A. Williams Elementary.
Yes, indeed.
G is for Willie Gary, our first black attorney. G is also for Greg Buckle, our first black architect. H is for Robert Hall, our first black mayor. H is also for Joyce Hobson, who was the first black female elected to the Martin County School Board. I is for Isaac McCarty, who was a business owner in East Stewart. J is for Julius Graham, the first black general contractor. J is also for John Scott, who was our longest-serving employee at Martin Memorial Hospital.
Wow.
K is for Carrie Anderson, who is our youngest deputy. She's the junior deputy supervisor of outreach for the Martin County Supervisor of Elections Office. K is also for Martin Luther King, which 7th Street was renamed for Dr. Martin Luther King. L is for Lorraine Grant, our first black food service manager. L is also for Deborah Langston, who was the first black employed at the clerk of the circuit court.
Wow.
M is for Gilbert Miller, the first black deputy of the Martin County School District. M is also for Audria Moore, who was the lead author of the Treasure Coast Black Heritage, where lots of my information came from. N is from New Monrovia, which in 1912 was an area in Port Salerno that started as a fishing settlement that's very
Right.
popular today.
Right.
O is for Oradale Landers, who was the first black woman to run for a seat at the city commission. O is also for the one-room schoolhouse in Port Salerno, which educated many children in the New Monrovia area of Salerno, with teacher Costello Williams, who in the beginning was paid $75 a month.
Oh,
Can you
my
imagine?
gosh. No.
P is for pediatrician. Dr. Bo Laguerre is our first black pediatrician in Martin County. He was also my boy's pediatrician.
Aw.
P is also for Willie Petway, who has Petway Park in historic Gomez, and he settled to the area in 1909. And back then, he owned property on both sides of the Florida East Coast Railway.
My goodness.
Q is for Quilly McHardy, an educator for over 40 years, and he managed the first black golf league in Martin County. R is for Rosita Dickerson, who was the first black female employed at City Hall and Martin County Sheriff's Department, first as a clerk and then as a deputy sheriff, where she retired after 32 years. T is for Tick Ridge, one of the county's oldest black communities, first settled in 1898. And you have the families, the Goodbreads, the Christies, the Mackeys, the Taylors, the Halls, and the Wallies that's from that area. S is for Smith, for Willie Smith, the first black head of Martin County School District Transportation. And S is also for Willie Sampson, our oldest living veteran in Martin County.
Wow.
And he lives right across the street from Gertrude Walden.
Oh.
You have T for Thelma Waters. That's named for the Infant Child Care Center in Indiantown, which was built in the 1920s. And Thelma Waters is still helping the residents of Indiantown today. U is for Union Baptist Church in Jensen Beach, which was built in 1923. It was destroyed on 9/11, 1949, and rebuilt in 1961. V is for Victor McHardy, the longest-serving volunteer at the American Red Cross. W is for Walter Odom, the first black principal at Murray High School. W is also for Leroy Washington, the first black to advance to captain of the police department, the Stewart Police Department.
Wow.
X is for Zenobia Anderson, principal at Port Salerno Elementary.
I can't believe we got
and
X
Crystal
in
Lake.
there. Wow, we got X in there.
I'm thinking,
and she
okay,
retired from
we're
the
not going to
school
do an
district.
X.
Yes. Why is all of these individuals had a yearning to do better, and they all did.
Yeah.
And Z is for zealous for being about accomplishing your goals. So now you know your ABCs
of Black history.
Yes.
Well
That's
done,
fantastic,
Thelma.
Thank you. So I learned a lot.
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And it was great when I presented it at the Elliott Museum because Marion Carpenter was there and Myretha Wiley and Lucius Razor, who back then played on basketball team. So it was so much. It's like, wow, I worked with these people. I worked with Cephas Gibson when I was a teacher at J.D. Parker and Felix Williams and Frederica Williams. So it's like, I'm a part of history.
Yes, you
are.
So
who knows, 40 years, my name might be a part of the ABCs.
Doing the ABCs
Black
part
history.
2.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
That was wonderful. And that's so great that you've been here all this time.
Yes, I moved here in 1983, straight out of Bethune-Cookman College, my first job teaching 5th grade at J.D. Parker. Bert DuBose gave me a chance.
Oh, nice.
I love Bert DuBose to this day. My first real job.
Well, he did well to hire you.
Thank you.
And you've been a great addition for the whole community, not just East Stewart. You know what I mean? You bring a cultural blessing to all of us, and it's how we should be.
It's like United Way's mission. We do live united.
That's
and
right.
It takes all of us to make this world go round.
Completely.
Our kids saying the world is a rainbow, and it really is a rainbow.
It really is.
Really is.
And it takes a village.
Yes, it does.
And, I'm just so appreciative of these times. They're hard times, but the positive aspect of them is that it makes you appreciate life more.
Yes.
And that we need to appreciate each other more.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure.
And I know you said you have to go back to work.
Yes.
I can't believe you work really hard.
Yes.
You work almost as hard as a realtor. I was like running in here. I was like, I got to get to the radio show. I've been working all day, and I'll probably be working all night. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
And then you have something else coming up, too, I think. You were telling me you did this project.
What's the next one?
Well, you got a bunch coming up.
Yeah, I do.
Well, look at it on the Gertrude Walden Facebook page, because that's
go.
where Thelma will post everything.
Yes.
Because you have the painting, you have the make the beautiful, but you have things.
Yes, and I tell you, we've probably had 15 homeowners that have been in the last 3 days wanting to know how to get on the list. So I think I see Love Thy Neighborhood Part 2 in our near future.
All right, good deal. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much, Thelma. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, and so just real quickly, in real estate news, I'll just do a little shout out for the mortgage rates that are going steady right now, but they look like they might be coming up. And spring cleaning, we were talking about having your inspection, your home inspections. And what you really want to do is check your roofs, because that's the first thing that goes.
Right.
It's the thing that has the most, sun,
most exposure.
Right. And you got to have a good roof. And, the last thing you need is in an inspection to have the roof fail.
Right.
Or be a major cause for concern. But make sure you use a professional or get a ladder and binoculars. Don't try to go up there yourself. Come on in, Michelle. Yeah, well, come on in. Have a seat. Mike and Elizabeth. And are we missing anybody? Oh, he had to leave. Oh, sorry. Okay, come on over here, Mike. Okay, well, we have just enough chairs now for who's left. So, welcome to the Marathon of the Treasure Coast. Everybody put on your headset and belly up to the microphone. And I've got Mike Melton here to my immediate right.
Yeah,
Hi, Mel.
He's no stranger to this radio station.
No, that's true.
Been a while, though.
Been a while. And you're the founder of this Treasure Coast Marathon, aren't you?
Frank Fender is really the creative genius behind the race.
Okay. But you're a major.
He and I are kind of Siamese twins sometimes.
Okay.
Joined at the hip.
Very good. And to your right is Michelle. Would you introduce Michelle?
Michelle Mazzola Shinkario.
Thank you, because I can't say that.
That was kind of right, but not really. But it's okay.
Okay, you say it.
Yes, you say it.
Michelle Shinkario.
Yeah.
Mazzola would be my Facebook part of it.
Oh,
but,
gotcha.
A long time ago.
That's the part I can say.
Yeah.
I can't do the third name.
But I go by Michelle Shinkario, and I'm the philanthropy director.
Right, which is something we're going to get into quickly to talk about the race, how it affects people in a positive way. And last but not least...
Yeah, hi there, Elizabeth Ragland. I am in charge of on-course entertainment this year, and I'm representing my husband, Matt Ragland, who was a marketing director but couldn't be here tonight.
Right. I'm sorry we had to miss him, but he got into the photo op.
That's right.
But he had a very important call he had to be on, a conference call. So thank you, Matt, for coming and being here in spirit. And aren't you one of the sponsors?
Yes, we are an executive sponsor again this year, Elements Massage here in Stewart. We are just about a mile north of the Roosevelt Bridge. We're thrilled to be a part of the marathon again this year.
I am too, because I'm going to be the announcer, and I'm going to make sure I take my breaks and go get a massage in between.
Right. Exactly. Please do.
I will. I did it last year. I was like, oh, this is a good perk. Yeah. I heard massage, and I went, oh, where? And it really was great. And it's a great day, and it's coming up this Sunday. If you don't know by now, you obviously either you're not a runner or you're sleeping under a rock. But it's this Sunday, and tell us about it, Mike.
Well, it's really an entire weekend because it starts Saturday morning with the Sailfish Sprint 5K, 10K at Veterans Memorial Park, which is located right next to the Martin County Courthouse on East Ocean.
Okay.
And so that starts at 6:30. So, those early dawn hours, watch for runners in the East Stewart neighborhood. And then Saturday afternoon is the expo out at Marriott, the Indian River Plantation, Hutchinson Island, Marriott.
Yep.
And then the pasta dinner is someplace.
It's
Talk House.
The new Talk House
in
Stewart.
Yep,
On
and
Dixie
that's
Highway.
Saturday
the new
evening.
What house?
It's called the Talk House.
The Talk House.
Talk.
It's a restaurant. Talk House.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beautiful
Just
new
on the north
place.
side
Is
of
it
the
where
bridge,
Quartines was?
Yes.
Okay,
It
that's
is.
why I couldn't think of
Yes.
that name the other night.
And then-
I met the chef. He's lovely.
Yes.
Yes.
And then finally Sunday is the the premier event, the marathon, half marathon, and the marathon team relay.
Yeah, not one race, lots of races.
Yes.
Yep.
And I get to sit during all of that.
Correct.
That's the best part for me. Yeah, I said, I'll be the announcer again as long as I don't have to run up to the mic. No running for me. I should, but I really enjoyed it last year, and I was thrilled you asked me to do it again. Huh?
Just dancing.
Just dancing.
Correct.
That's all. Dance up to the mic. Yeah, and you're the race timer. You're really like on the.
I do timing and scoring,
Right.
and I will also be doing I'll be probably co-hosting with you because I have the runner side from the announcing.
Yeah.
So, as people come through, we'll be calling names and things like that.
Right. It's really exciting. It was exciting for me because
it's a nice event.
it's something you only see on TV sometimes, like the New York City Marathon, and there I was right there, and I didn't have to fight the crowd. They gave me a good seat. It's like seeing everybody come across the line. It was great.
Well, I often tell people that we worked very hard at bringing an event together that would showcase the best of Martin County. I mean, we run through downtown Stewart on the boardwalk, right along the river as the sun comes up. We run through Snug Harbor. We go out onto the island, get the Hutchinson Island experience, and then Sewell's Point, and then come back through Stewart. And we do it in such a way that we worked really hard at minimizing the impact to the local people, because we understand that not everyone is a runner, and they want to get around on Sunday morning. So we've tried really hard as well to fit in with our local non-running crowd. And we have runners from 40 different states and 9 countries coming. So we have a lot of people who are from out of town who may not ever have been on the Treasure Coast before, and we want them to go away with a great positive experience.
Yeah. And this year, is this the 4th?
This is the 5th.
The 5th.
The 5th annual.
Right, the 5th.
So we have
It's a big one.
a special big award, a big medal for those people who've done all 5 years.
Ooh, like Michelle.
Like Michelle.
Yes.
Okay. And Michelle, tell us how this marathon is different from other marathons with the philanthropy.
First, it's in Stewart and Jensen, so that's just naturally different. It's also a Boston qualifying race.
Okay.
So it's a pretty important one. And we're excited to bring people from other states and other countries here to see our beautiful location and eat downtown and visit our shops. So that's really exciting for us, too.
Yeah, the economic impact is fabulous.
It's pretty big. And we have a nice card that goes into everybody's race bag that gives a description of different things going on around here. So that's cool.
Yeah, and people come and stay.
Yeah,
and they
definitely.
bring somebody with them usually.
It's a destination race, so we're also filling up the hotels,
Right.
and hopefully local business feels a positive impact.
Yeah,
because
the
of
restaurants.
it. Yeah, we're talking about thousands of people coming in, so it's a great event.
Yeah, over 1,200 people.
Yeah,
Correct.
and we
Runners.
got
And then
runners.
there's support crew.
And then
Support
1,000
groups.
more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah, and so like you said, it's our 5-year. We're grassroots. We're a lot of volunteers putting this on because we love our community and we love the running establishment.
And if you're a non-runner and you want to help out,
Yeah.
we can still use extra bodies.
Yes, how do they do that?
Please, you can go to the Treasure Coast Marathon's website, which
And
is treasurecoastmarathon.com.
Okay, Treasure Coast
You can even contact
Marathon.com.
us here at the radio station, and we'll make sure that
Yeah.
somehow we get the word over to our
And
volunteer
And you have
people.
a Facebook page, so
We do.
definitely like the page
Yep.
and look for their website. But probably if you send a message even through Facebook, you'd get it.
Yes.
But definitely volunteer. It's a
we
great
give
day.
out student hours too. So if you're students
Yeah.
in high school and you need some hours, we give out a lot of hours.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I'd like to talk.
We're even available for those people that have court-mandated community hours.
Oh,
Those in too.
I used to have kids who come up and volunteer for me, and they'd say, hey, will you sign my paper? And I said, well, there's two kinds of kids, who come. There are the scholarship kids, and there's the court-ordered kids. Which are you?
But we're happy to have you all.
Exactly. We'll take them all.
So I
tell
wanted
us
to,
about
I
the
wanted to talk
philanthropy.
about the philanthropy
Yes.
aspect because it's really important to our race. Marathon of the Treasure Coast loves to give back to our community. It's a community event, and we also look for charities. Most of them are local that we bring on to partner with. So we have 7 charities. I'm going to read them out loud. Council on Aging of Martin County. So if you're familiar with the Kane Center, they're one of our charities. Diabetes
And
Research
they do Meals on
Institute.
Wheels.
Yeah, they do
Okay,
Meals on
that's
Wheels.
good.
Diabetes Research Institute. Elevate Hope. Many of you are familiar with Elevate Hope. They're one of our
Yes, with
great
Rena.
charities. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Florida Oceanographic Society. They've been with us for a while too.
Mark Perry.
Uh-huh. Helping People Succeed is another great local one.
Paris,
Emmy's
Glenna
team.
Paris. I love Glenna.
Yeah, Emmy's team. And the YMCA of the Treasure Coast. And so what we do is
Fantastic.
we bring these charities on board. We allow them to partner with us. They also supply volunteers. Most of them are at our water stops. And it gives them a platform to fundraise. So they put relay teams together or runners participate, and that's their platform to fundraise. And we've probably brought in about $85,000 since inception. And what's really neat...
That's given back to the
It's
charity.
given back to charity. Yeah, I was going
Yeah.
to mention that. So what's really neat is if a charity raises $500, we match up to $500. That's money we just give you.
Oh, wow.
And then on top of that, any proceeds that come in, any revenue after our bills are paid, we don't keep it. We donate it right back to our charities. So it's a really great win-win situation. And I personally became involved in it because 4 years ago, my son was diagnosed with an autoimmune form of diabetes, type 1. And I love running, and I love fundraising, and I love helping my son. So I was able to put all that together, and it worked out really well. And then I was invited to be part of the
Yes.
leadership team.
Yeah.
That's
You've
wonderful.
done a great job of fundraising.
Yeah, thank you. I have 44 participants in relay. So
Oh,
we have
my
11
goodness.
teams running for DRI this race on Sunday, and we're really excited. And,
That's awesome.
and all,
That
all of
is
these
so
charities
cool.
are equally, a lot of them
Very
have,
deserving.
the same thing. So, yeah.
So the way a team works is
Yes.
that it's 2 to 4 people, and they run a section of the course. So the first person will leave the starting line and run 6 or 7. It's like 7.3 miles, and they exchange off to the next person who runs out onto the island like 6 miles, and then they exchange off, and it's a 4 or 5 mile leg, and then the last leg finishes up. So you don't have to run the entire thing. You can be part of a team, and the team covers the entire ground. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, and if there's anyone that would like to donate to our charities, they can go to our Facebook page, or they can go to the website, and we have links right there, and you can make a donation.
Yeah, and that's really cool because you don't have to run. You just
right.
make a donation.
That's right.
Stroke a check.
And we, as a runner, we love people out on the course cheering us on.
Yes,
so don't
of
feel like you
course.
have to be a runner or you have to.
Yeah.
And that was fun for me, too, to see people cheering their loved ones on.
yeah.
And even if they didn't know them, they were cheering them.
Yeah, and if you're along the route, there's no prohibition. You can come on out and get your chair out. Offer the runners water or oranges or whatever you have.
Yeah.
Donuts,
Yeah, exactly. Pizza.
And I'm still looking for on-course entertainment. So anybody
Yes.
who wants to sing, juggle, any kind of energy.
play an
along
instrument,
those
come on out.
If you want to showcase your talent,
Yeah.
this is a good place to do it because
It
you'll have
is.
1,200 people going by.
Exactly.
Oh, good. Yeah, and that is a great way to display your logo for branding.
Yes.
And Elements Massage is like the signature sponsor.
Yeah, we've been a part of this. This is our second year, and it's just been such a wonderful way. My husband and I are new to the area, so personally and professionally, it's been such a win-win. We're thrilled to be a part of this community. It's, I'm in charge of on-course entertainment, as I said. I've been calling people and explaining what we do. We're an all-volunteer army with all the money going to proceeds. Might you get up at 6 a.m. and come entertain us? It's kind of a tall order. But boy, people have said yes. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's really it blows me away that people out of the goodness of their heart would do this.
Yeah, and do you have some names of local talent that you can share who would be coming?
Well, I have to say, the folks that I have lined up are all amateurs.
Okay.
They're just people,
That's okay.
Now, there is a rock
gotta
and
start
run,
somewhere.
though. We do have a
the
some
rock
music,
and run.
we
That's
do have
what I
some
was
music
wondering about
festival,
that.
because I guess
The name.
Hurricane Hawk and his boys are coming, and there's somebody else.
Yeah, we have entertainment at our finish.
At the
At the finish. So that's what I say. Where are they going to be performing?
And there's entertainment throughout the area, of course, locally.
Okay. So would they might run into a clown on the course?
We would love that. If a clown
Maybe.
wants to show up and not scare us, we'd be
I'd be thrilled. I think the entertainment that I'm most excited about is an all-kids steel drum band.
Oh.
I have a brass ensemble.
That's great.
I'm thrilled about that.
Now,
Couple
will
of
this
guitar
be in the
players.
park area?
No, this is
or
along the course.
On the
Along
course.
the
So,
course.
so
Right.
Oh
maybe
my gosh.
maybe at 10 miles, you might come across somebody playing entertainment.
How fun.
Yes,
That's
I
what you
have
said. On course.
On
entertainment. You mean
course
on the
entertainment,
course.
Yes.
literally. I have a South Fork High School band. It's going to be at mile 9. I'm thrilled about that.
Good.
That's great.
And then just along the other way, I've got just random people playing their guitar.
How
God bless
fun.
them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should
And you'll
be
be out there
exciting.
videoing it, and the news people will be out there, so you could be famous.
Exactly.
Come on
Exactly,
out.
Julia.
Volunteer your time. It's going to be a beautiful day. I think the weather is predicted to be very
Yes.
nice.
Yeah,
right?
we're excited. It looks like it's in the 70s.
we have a good
I think.
weather. We have a good weather
It'll be
weekend.
nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the race starts at 6 a.m. So most of the half marathoners will be through by 9:30 at the latest.
Right.
The full marathoners will start coming in right around 9 o'clock, 8:45 to 9 a.m. We may have a couple of fast people out there, and then the last ones will show up around noon or 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm there for all of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll be there early in the morning till your last one comes over the line, calling your name. So be sure to come on down. It's really a great event. Very nice local event, but it's international. 40
It is.
countries?
40 different states.
40 different states,
And
9
countries.
countries.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also want to do a shout out to Boy Scout Troop 888.
Okay.
They will be serving food. I think we're doing
Right.
pancakes.
I think it's pancakes.
And they work their bums off. So
Oh.
They do.
yeah,
Great
and
kids.
they'll be out there too. That's
Yep.
part of where we get volunteers
888,
as well.
isn't that Jensen Beach?
No,
No, that's
they're at
811.
Hope Sound.
Oh, Hope
yeah,
Sound.
this
Hope
year is
Sound.
it's a different troop, but they're really excited to be part of it.
Great.
And regarding any kids that want to come out and play music on the course, you get volunteer hours too. So if you
That's
want to
right.
bring your band out there, that's a
Wow.
great way
I'll
to
take them. They can contact me through Facebook. Absolutely.
come on out.
All right, and just a big shout out to Elements Massage, the signature sponsor, and your executive sponsors. You want to name any of those? Is it the same from last year?
Yeah, well, I think you have it up. SunTrust is one of our big
Right.
sponsors. We definitely want to recognize SunTrust.
Right.
Team
And
Logic.
Oceanside Physical Therapy,
Oceanside
Brian
Physical
Graham.
Therapy.
Yep. Gene
And-
Zwieben.
The Zwieben Law
Wallace.
Group.
Yep.
Wallace, Volkswagen,
Yeah.
the Wallace.
BB&T, Martin Health System does a great job because they also provide a lot of the medical support. They provide some EMTs and medical supplies.
Yes.
We have medical staff.
Right.
Dan Rukeyser at Vital Wellness and all of his people.
That's right, I know
They do
Dan.
a wonderful job with our medical staff.
Right.
But Martin is partnered with us very, very well there.
And Treasure Coast Urgent and Primary Care, a new platinum sponsor this year.
Yes.
Oh, that's
They've
nice.
just moved their location right along the raceway by the race course by Oceanside Physical Therapy.
Oh, right.
So they're new to us this year.
That's great. And Coldwell Banker, I'm a sponsor.
Yeah.
And the Martin County Difference.
Wonderful.
I got both my logos in there. And I'm just so delighted to be a part of
our
it.
local Fleet Feet store.
Fleet Feet,
Ampersand, Moe's, Team
Right.
Holland.
Right.
Yep.
Team Holland. Hi, Lisa.
Earth Tones.
Natalie's
Earth
Juice.
Tones.
Earth Tones, yeah.
And certainly Joe at CapTech, he helps us tremendously with road construction issues, with permitting and road closures. We are going to close a couple of sections of East Ocean early in the morning, and there's a section of North Sewells Point Road from Sewells Point up to about Indian Riverside Park that will be closed for a couple of hours. You can go local traffic only through there.
Oh, okay. All right.
But there is a detour, so.
All right. Not so bad at all. And if they want to get in touch with you directly, Mike, you want to give your number out?
TreasureCoastMarathon.com is the best place.
All right.
You can also go to tcrunning.org.
Okay.
But certainly, reach out to us on Facebook or through the website is probably the best way to get in touch with us.
Social media is great. And so if you need real estate services, call me. I'm on social media everywhere. Follow me, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, but mostly Facebook because I'm old. That's what they said. As soon as the people get, the kids are like, she's old. That was 10 years ago already. I mean,
that's
God,
right.
Right? Oh, my God. It's like, no, I love it. But it is. Facebook's still vital and viable, ads on it and everything. So it really works well. But I want to thank our guest tonight. Thelma Washington came in for Black History Month from Gertrude Walden Center. She's awesome. She does a good job for our children here, and we want to take care of our children. So, and thanks to Mike Melton and Michelle. Say your last name.
Shincario.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Elizabeth Ragland.
Shincario.
Just
kind of
it's beautiful.
off your tongue.
Okay, now I know.
Yeah.
But and people can't say Sansevier. I don't know. But,
That's right.
But thank you for coming in for the Treasure Coast
Thanks for having
Marathon,
us.
the
Thank you.
Marathon
Sure.
of the Treasure Coast. It's
Yeah.
this Sunday, crack of dawn, and you can still sign up to do it. Is there a fee?
You
And there's
can
a
sign
fee.
up all the way. Yes, there's an entry fee because you get a swag bag and a shirt and a lot of cool stuff
And
a
a
big
cool
finisher's
medal.
Awesome,
Yeah.
and a cool medal
A
for
medal
5 years.
that actually doubles as a beer bottle opener. So
I like that.
not that we're all into carb loading or anything.
And I'll be there announcing on Sunday morning. Curlers in my hair. It's going to be fun. And next week, I'm going to be having the ladies from Women's Club of Stewart. We have a fun fashion show coming up, and we donate all that money to our young women of high school age for their for scholarships. And in addition to that, let's see, I'm going to have Fran and Lance Wilson, and they're a Gold Star family. And there is a park named for their son who died for our country, the Justin Wilson Park in Palm City. So we're going to talk with them about an event they have coming up. It's a bicycle-thon.
We've done running events at that park as well.
Oh, okay, good. So that's 7 o'clock next week on Wednesday. Share the Facebook page for the Martin County Difference. Share the page for the Gertrude Walden Center and for the Marathon of the Treasure Coast, and sign up. Be a volunteer. You could even still be a sponsor probably at this
Yes,
late
you
date.
could.
Absolutely.
And it's a great way to get your name out there, and it's a lot of fun. So come out and see it, be a part of it, run or just stand on the sidelines and make faces and cheer the people on, because it's nothing better than to hear the crowd roar for you. So I want to thank everybody again tonight for coming in. Thank you out there on Facebook
Sure.
land and Radio Land, and
Thanks
you,
for the
Frank.
invitation.
Absolutely. I'm so
you.
happy to do it, and I will see you Sunday.
Yes, you will.
Sunday.
Bright and early.
All right. Good night, everybody. And
Bye.
don't forget that meeting tomorrow night for our school protection in the Martin County High School, 6:30, March 1st. Good night.